It's our pie, playing some deer music as you will look upon yourself to a tier list. This is going to be our pie's tier list to the Spooky's Jumpscare Mansion HE Renovation Endless mode. I have it set up on ways that I think are a pretty fair way to judge the characters. Of course, on the bottom, being one chase or specimen 9, they're very situational. Usually, a person can get through them like really easily. There's only one person during it, and with the exception of 9, they're really easy to deal with. You know, it's just one person that can chase you, so they're in their own little pool. One chase last 9. Then next we have joke tier, which are a tier that can't really seem to be a threat no matter who they're with the exception of deadly tier. Passive tend to be like by themselves or with other balanced or powerful people. They don't seem to do a whole lot. They don't really seem to help. There are a few exceptions. Balanced are just characters that can do well by them, can very rarely do well by themselves, but usually work really well with other people. Powerful are characters that work really well by themselves and work exceptionally well with other people's. Deadly are characters that do really well by themselves and really well in groups as well. In groups, let's start with monster. I think 2. Well, anyway, baby. I'd put in the passive tier. The Why I'd put baby in the passive tier is because baby, despite being a hittable enemy that floats, he does appear in front of you, and he can land some hits, which is something most joke characters and passive characters and even some balanced characters can't land by themselves. Since he's not a chasing specimen, means he doesn't spawn at the door that you just came from. He can be really useful in areas that don't give the player much option. Uh, that's why I put baby in passive tier. Next we have monster 2, I believe, also known as body bag. Body bag is pretty balanced. He starts off really slow, and then he rams up to become fast. He does very good damage, and most of the time you'll see him with another specimen, and no matter what specimen it is, he still makes you run. He still makes you. He still makes he still makes you scared and all that. Attack. He can be. No, he can't not. He cannot be attacked. That's why he's unbalanced. So that means if he encounters you, you're gonna. If he gets close to you, you're gonna either take hit from him or whatever else is chasing you. Next we have cow. Cow. I'm gonna put in balance. Cow's really slow. He can be hit. He can be hit. He's a floater sometimes, but most of the times he's physical. Cal, why I put Cal up so high, is because the status effect that he gives you is awful. It combos so well with so many other specimens. He basically makes you blind, and especially really blind whenever there's multiple like screen effects going on. He's a really resourceful a monster that chases you. He never gets the hit, but he always makes you fumble. He always makes you fumble. He always makes you mess up. That's the main reason why I doubt him. The main thing because he worked really well with Tirsia. Now next up we have patient. Patient I put in the passive tier. Patient can't do nothing by himself, and whenever he does do things, he does scratch damage to you. He's really However, the benefit about patient I'll get to more when I come to 6. But let's just consider patient right now to be a better version of specimen 6. This is unknown specimen 1, I believe, out of the odd honor. He's of course a joke. He's really slow. It takes him a while to break down doors, and he does joke damage. There's nothing more to say. However, I'll bring it up later against 6. I consider him a little better. Oh no. Next up we have Becca. Becca, I'm putting on deadly. There's a whole bunch of reasons why. she has a random chance of spawning in a door and attacking you. She does around 15, 20 damage to your HP bar. And she cannot be attacked against. The only way to deal with her is to spawn her, move away, spawn her, then juke around her, spawn her in one door, then move out the other. However, she's never a guaranteed spawn, and sometimes you can get really unlucky with Becca and get really small rooms where she spawns, like a simple corridor where it's only like 10 feet to the next door. She could spawn there and hit you. What if there's 2 in a row? Spawns there, hits you twice. With every single specimen in this game, she, anyone that forces you to run, move fast, she does. She hits you, and she hurts you. She, out of all the specimens in the game, I believe she is she's among the top of the one that will hit the player the most. For this, I'm putting her at deadly tier. She's also the result of 7 of my endless deaths. She's incredibly powerful, not to be overestimated. This is 9's boss. I feel like his boss's HD renovation is much more challenging than it was in the original. But yeah, besides that, he's a pretty interesting boss fight. A little weird to be in a scary game, but you know, what can you do? Lisa. Lisa is powerful. She is the better version of Monster 6, Patient, and she's a better version of 6 himself. I think he might be 7. I don't know. Anyway, maybe 5. Patient and 6 are both backwalkers. You have to look at them in order to make them not move. She is everything that those 2 wish to be. She teleports, fades away. She locks the room. She forces you to look behind. She's really fast. She's always guaranteed to hit if you don't look at her long enough. And the fact that she makes you turn around helps Becca, helps everybody. Backwalking sucks. You can't see where you're going. It's really easy to mess up against Lisa. This guy is another one chase. He's only in the DLC. He's pretty easy to dodge. He doesn't seem like he really chases you. Oh, that's Monster 1 for you. New Specimen 4. I'm going to put her in deadly tier. She is incredibly fast. She blinds you. She does really good damage, around like 30 to 40. She hits really hard. And on top of that, she blinds you. Like, she cannot be hit herself. You cannot defend yourself against her. By herself, she's as much as a threat as she is with anybody else. Two times more. If you're being chased by anybody that's a non-chasing specimen like Whiteface, Becca, anybody that doesn't chase you from the spawn door. She is so deadly right now. All right, next up, 10. 10, I'm also gonna put in deadly. No, I'll put him in power. No, deadly. 10, he is one, besides 4, no, I'm gonna take that back. 10 is the fastest chasing specimen in the game. Some may argue that 2 can get faster and stuff like that. But no, you get away from Specimen 10, he will chase you down until he hits you. He is so fast. You cannot defend against him like the other 3 in Deadly, and he does around 30 to 40 damage. And on top of that, if he does damage you, he also puts on a blinding effect to your face, and occasionally blinds you when you're making corners. By himself, you can walk with him, but that slows down your run and also risks you to being hit and maybe even encountering his warm form too. They have nerfed him recently, but he's still the best chasing specimen in the game right now. He works well with anybody. Anybody except for when he's slow, then he doesn't work with 6. When he's fast though, that's the only person 6 can. I'm getting off topic. 11, I'm gonna put him on balanced. 11 has to be the worst floater in the game. He does really good damage. I think 49 to 45 damage. He is a really heavy hitter. His negatives though is that he's the only floater besides Baby that can be hit. Hitting him teleports him to a random location, and you know, it could spawn close to you, but he can be hit though. your axe can defend yourself against uh, against 11. 11 is really deadly. He's the Beef Boy, Beef King. He's right next to there with his cow buddy as the Beef Team, and they Tins. He's silent. That's his bonus. He's silent. He's much more quieter than the rest of them. But he even spawned in one time in Becca's chase room for me, so he's quite resourceful. But like I said, he's weaker than the other floaters because he can be defended against. Now, Slime Man, I'm gonna put in passive. He may be slow, but he applies a slowness effect to yourself. You can defend against Slime Man. However, he can hit real hard around 40, but he himself is never the threatening thing. It's usually whoever else is chasing you. By himself, he's joked here, but with everybody else, he's passive. Especially when you're being chased by 10, but 10 works so well with every specimen in the game. Specimen 2, I'm going to put in passive as well. The negative about Specimen 2 is a whole bunch of things. He can be hit. He's fast, but it takes him a long time to spawn. That's the majority it. Like, being able to defend yourself against them is a deal breaker most of the time. Like, Cowl's only unbalanced because of the status effect against it. It more than makes up for it. But being able to defend yourself is awful. I mean, for the monster. Now 6. 6, in my opinion, is the worst character in the game. He's got everything bad about Patient, and everything bad about... He's just his own type of bad. I consider Otto to be more threatening than Patient. Not Patient. 6. 6 spawns immediately, and when he's whacked, he's down and out for the count. You can whack him like any bad specimen in the game, which causes him to lose his value. He is everybody likes him. I like him too, but he's in such a bad spot right now. He's really low. But here's an example. If you step 2 steps away from the door, turn around, he's there. He won't move to attack you or anything. You'll usually be in perfect range. Your axe is a big hitbox. You turn around, hit him with the axe or sword, he goes down, then you continue. Everybody except for Fast Specimen 10, you can do this against. Because Fast Specimen 10 comes out immediately from the door, so you gotta run. That is the only person 6 can work with. And the funny thing is too about 10, if he's slow, you can do that against 6 anyway. 6 is it's really bad. And the worst part about it is that, like Patient, they both suffer from if you hit them, they go away quicker. So 6 won't even be around for long. Just trigger him, hit him, then move on. Trigger him, hit him, move on. Also, another bad thing about him is that Patient tends to hit more than 6. 6 has he doesn't want to spawn in walls or fall to his death in the abyss. He has to spawn on a physical plane. That means let's say being chased by 10. You can wait for the audio cue of him teleporting, then run. He will attack where you're at, but then you'll be gone because his attack is too slow, he makes too much noise, and he'll miss. The only time he'll hit you is if you take too much of a step when you're trying to attack him, or when you don't have your run when he's teleporting. It does good damage around 35 to 40, but it's not worth it. If you can defend against a specimen, then they're basically useless. Specimen 7. He's in one chase. You counter him once, you don't encounter anybody else. As long as you're not, passing out while being chased by 7, you can usually escape him really well. And the thing that we're playing right now, Specimen 8. Specimen 8, the Deer Lord. I'm going to put him in balance. He's like Specimen 4, but he's slower. He does good damage, I think around 30, and he applies blinding effects to you. He's a floater, so it makes him really good, and you can't defend yourself against him. So it makes him really well. He's solid, but his negatives is that he's too slow. Specimen 4, she's faster. Both of them. And, yeah, so I put him in balance. His only negatives is that he's too slow. That's it. 9, you know, he goes here. If you wait around for too long, he'll kill you. Or go down the hallway, he'll kill you. Mansion, Specimen 12. I put him in, passive. He's far too slow. He got a run buff, but it's not too much. Of course, everybody knows if you're foolish and he's in the mansion, he'll one-shot you. So if he's in the mansion, then he's deadly. But if he's chasing you, then he's passive. He attacks really fast, but he doesn't even do enough damage. He does like around 40, maybe 30 to 35. But yeah, that's Mansion. He's just too slow. He got a speed buff where he can run, but it's far too late. The character's really much more faster than him, and he's only like he's pretty fast, but he's not too fast when he's running, and it doesn't last for much long, and it comes too late. It's just bad. Specimen 5. She's the only character in the game capable of two-shotting you. Being hit by her and anybody else spells death for you, with the exception of Baby and Patient and Lisa. And I think Becca too. But if she hits you, you better hope that you're running, because that is something that really hurts. I think she does 55 to 60. I think it's 65% of your HP. She really hurts. If you make a mistake, if you go down the 50-50 room and you get the locked door, then her and Mansion are pretty deadly. I think Mansion has a higher chance of killing you since he attacks faster, but she is deadly. However, she's far too slow. She's physical like Mansion. I forgot to mention that, so she can't float. And, like I said, far too slow. No status effects. Pretty bad. 4, I'm going to put it balanced. Unlike her upgraded version, New Specimen 4, she is much slower and applies no status effects. She still hits as hard as New Specimen 4, though. However, she's faster than Specimen 8. Dear Lord. However, she doesn't apply any blinding effects. So, she's okay. She's a floater. You can't defend yourself against her. That pretty much makes her really good. She's a real good threat by herself. No, she's a possible threat by herself, but nothing too big. Spooper, I'm going to put in powerful. Spooper is one of the few characters that once you deal with him, there's no going back. He makes every other specimen in the game infinitely better. Fighting Spooper is like going into a completely different game, turning on the hard mode, and enjoying yourself. My favorite chase in the game is Spooper 10. Spooper 10 is really fun. That's these two. Oh, oops. Spooper 10, they're ridiculously fun, because just 10 makes you takes a lot of damage. He's fast. You have to use your brain. You have to think. It's a really fun chase. If I ever had to go back to HD Renovation, I'd want to go back to see a Spooper 10. Those two work so well together. It's awesome to see them together. But like I said, let's talk about what Spooper does. When you kill Spooper, he stops your HP regen and gives you HP degen. If he's by himself, he makes you throw up, which does like a probably 10 damage burst. It's nothing too noteworthy, but he makes every other specimen in this game really well. Like, you would not want to get hit by 11 when you're with him. That's 55 HP and no HP regen. He's most deadly with non-chasers like Becca and Whiteface, because they hit you more than any other specimen in the game. So, the one thing you would never want to see is Spooper and Specimen 4, or Spooper Specimen 4 Becca. It's probably the worst combo you can get in the game. It spells death unless you're lucky. Now it's time for Tirsiak. Tirsiak, I'm gonna put in powerful. I'm not like on her fanboy base or whatever. Wolf. She's a wolf chick with antlers. Anyway, she's pretty slow. She's a floater. she causes a pretty blinding effect, just like Cal. And she has an element about her chase that doesn't show up too much, and that's these shadow animals. They take a hit to bring down. Uh, they're really not. You can avoid them most of the time, but since she applies like a darkening effect to your screen, sometimes you'll spawn into one and not even see it. The worst thing to see though is Cow and her, because there's a weird texture glitch where the wolves become like they're still shadowy, but their background becomes like Kion, and it throws off your perception of depth and like anything. They work really well together. She blinds you really well. She does okay damage, I think around like 30, maybe 40, 30, 40. Uh, and she, like I said, she doesn't stick around for too long, so hopefully you won't have to deal with her brunt. But she's not too bad. Whiteface I'm gonna also put in powerful. He's hard to predict. He's schizophrenic. He can hit you a whole bunch of times, but you can avoid him a whole bunch of times. My key tip for Whiteface is keep the earphones in and listen where he's at. If you hear him teleport, adapt. Try to draw him in to places away from the door and make sure that he can't get you. Apparently, how he works is that he teleports after a set amount of time. And when he teleports, he starts at speed like 0. Then he amps up until he gets really fast. Then when he gets his maximum speed, he resets and he teleports. He does okay damage, I think around 20. And like I said before, he's a non-chasing specimen, which means he doesn't spawn at the door behind you most of the time. So you're going to be running into him more than you're going to be running away from him. But like I said, keep your headphones in and listen. That's your best way to deal with Whiteface. Whiteface is probably one of the more solid specimens in the game. But as you can see in the powerful tier, I have 4 of the unknown specimens, and the last one down there is Auto. Now, of course, I have one more, and that's my good old Specimen 13. Sadly, she's deadly. No, I'm kidding. She's a one chaser. She got colossally nerfed. She used to be the best one chase specimen in the game, but they nerfed her to hell. She used to be able to float through walls. She used to be able to rapid fire attack, and she used to be much faster. She used to track you, but now she has none of that. If you step on a box, she just sits there in the water like, what's going on? She doesn't do that much damage. She's really easy to avoid. I think sometimes in rooms you can reach the exit door by just walking if you do it right. It's not too much of a threat. I'd say of the 2 one chasers, 7 and 13, she's the more deadly of the 2, but they're both really bad. So this has been our Pie's tier list. I hope you enjoyed it. Maybe you guys disagree with some placements. Maybe you guys don't think 6 should be on joke tier with Auto. Maybe I should put Baby in there, because Baby's kind of bad. Or Specimen 2. But, as you notice, there's no Specimen 1s, but if you had to place a Specimen 1, they'd be in the 1 chase /9 tier. Which is... eh. But thank you for watching. This has been our Pie, and this has been my tier list video. Thank you for watching.